What's up, J Fusion fans, and welcome back to another video. And today we are going to look into Kamen Rider Zero One's final episode. Yes, so it's been a great year. Uh, Definitely a great Kamen Rider show that can stand alone. It would have been better, of course, if the pandemic had never happened and the show was practically cut short. I know that the later parts leading to the end felt rushed, and I really couldn't blame Toei for that. But of course, we could have gotten something better. But then again, we are also trying to make time to have Kamen Rider Saber premiere as soon as possible. So there's also that issue. But overall, Kamen Rider Zero One is an excellent series by itself, despite all that delays causing, the last few episodes to get kind of rushed, as I've said earlier. So, anyways, before we continue on, I would like to remind everyone that this video is not for viewers under the age of 13, and I probably would be spoiling some things here because there's just so much to talk about. So, sorry guys if you feel like you're gonna get spoiled, but I'll try my best not to say uh, too much into details. But then again, I will be giving the overall summary of today's episode. So I hope you guys would enjoy this one. So let's get into it. All right, so we're picking up with the final confrontation between Horobi and Aruto. So what happened from last week. So before Aruto went to face Horobi, he was kind of visited in a vision by Soreo, thanks to the Zeus satellite. Now, again, Soreo appeared and kind of commented on how much Aruto has changed over the years, and seems to have also given him a power up in this episode. Although, when Aruto transformed, it's only just his rising hopper. However, there's something different about it, and that was the progress key that he used. So, again, it's when Aruto transformed, it's just using the Zero One driver, the classic Zero One driver, and his default rising hopper form. And like I said, there's this new progress key, but what kind of progress key is it? Well, it turns out that this new progress key is called the realizing hopper. So, kind of a reference to the theme song, which of course is Realize, but also, again, Aruto seems to have realized everything that he's done. Aruto realizing his mistakes, and Aruto realizing what he must do in order to actually make a better world, not only for humans and human gears as well. So, of course, Aruto uses this realizing hopper and fights Horobi with it. Well, this isn't much of a spoiler, but it's kind of expected that Aruto wins, of course. However, uh, he definitely wants to give Horobi a second chance, so there's that. He does give Horobi a second chance, and of course, after that, it's all peaceful from here on out. Now, this is where I'm going to not spoil too much, but each major character gets a happy ending, and yeah, so it's actually nice to see each character character get the ending that I think they pretty much deserve, or at least it's nice to see each character individually get an ending, not just Naruto, of course. So, speaking of endings, well, we do get a new Izu. You probably might have seen scans going around that Izu comes back. So if you if you have seen those like a couple of days ago already, so yeah, Izu does come back. So it's also kind of expected, but how I originally imagined it to be, so like this is just how I saw it, is that if you guys remember, the Zero Two driver was made entirely out of Izu's memory, so I thought that some sort of backup system would be in place there, even though Izu's original progress key doesn't work anymore, but the backup data at least, or that's how I thought. So the Zero Two driver would have had that backup data for Izu, but apparently they decided to start from scratch. So yes, we do get a new Izu, and it's actually nice. So we would have wanted the Izu that we have come to love to come back, but Aruto being Aruto wanted, or he was fine with starting over from 0 to 1. So yeah, uh, of course, referencing Kamen Rider 01, of course, that's expected. But again, I was okay with that. I like that idea. So instead of trying to uh, like do your best to bring back the Izu that we all knew, we're starting with a new Izu, and still that makes a lot of sense. Well, either way, it's fine, but they just went with the new Izu route, so we're going to leave it at that. And of course, we are also introduced to a brand new character. So if you have been following Kamen Rider Zero One news over the internet, so we are introduced to a new villainous rider. So this is from the official source, by the way. So we are introduced to a character named Esu, and he will be Kamen Rider Eden. So we are introduced to him in this brand new episode. However, the character is only a name. Now I will talk about that later. So I will post about it in a while. So stay tuned for that. And because of this, yes, we are finally getting the Kamen Rider 01 movie. And we also have a definitive date for that, December 18, 2020. So, yes, we are going to get Kamen Rider Zero in the movie before Christmas. Now, speaking of the Kamen Rider Zero One movie, now it was supposed to be out like earlier, should be in the movie theaters right now. But again, we've had the pandemic and all of the schedules have changed. So, of course, the schedule for the Kamen Rider Zero One movie has been moved to December. And speaking of Kamen Rider movies, if you noticed, the recent trends would have like the movies come out in summer just before the series ends. So let's say, for example, Kamen Rider Geo over Quartzer came out in the summer of 2019, just before Kamen Rider Zero One ended. But this shift in schedule for the release of the movie actually makes a lot of sense. Why? So, as I've said earlier, we are introduced to the villain of the movie. So this introduction to the new villain builds up that hype for the coming movie. So you are already excited to see what's going to happen in the movie. Now, uh, with the past trend of the Kamen Rider movies coming out in the same summer before the movie ends, so yeah, uh, it's like you get to see the endings of both the movie and the TV show like almost at the same time if you choose to do so. An example of this would be Kamen Rider Exade with the true ending. Given that the writer of Zero One and Exade are the same, so well, it is an ending. Well, actually, I want to compare those because Kamen Rider Exade's ending was fine on its own, but you have the true ending, which is of course an improvement on the movie. But nonetheless, the final episode of Zero One, or Exade, sorry, felt like a decent ending on its own. But then again, here with Kamen Rider Zero One, while the ending is very much satisfying for all the characters involved, we are suddenly introduced to another villain, which kind of makes the ending a cliffhanger. That's why we are now led into the movie of Kamen Rider Zero One. And again, because of this style, there is more hype for the movie, and definitely we're going to be more interested to see how Zero One actually ends. So so we are not given the notion that, you know, or we're not going to have to assume ourselves which one is the true ending. Now, like again, for example, Kamen Rider Go. So which would you consider the true ending? So the TV ending or the movie ending? So again, both of those endings have a, well, depending on how you view it, but it's going to have a canonical feel depending on how you see it. So like, for me, the ending of Geo, the TV series, felt like a closure of some sorts, but the movie also gives a closure in a different way. But here we have a complete end to the TV show, but then again, it leads to the beginning of the movie. So that's what I very much love about what they did with the final episode. So, yeah, Kamen Rider Zero One, the movie, coming out December 18, 2020. So, that's going to be it for this video. I love Kamen Rider Zero One. Again, because of the pandemic, I know we've been cut short, but it is definitely a great introduction or a great start to the Deiwa era Kamen Rider shows, and I'm definitely looking forward to Kamen Rider Saber next week. So I'm also going to review Kamen Rider Saber episode 1 next week. So stay tuned for that. So in the meantime, please subscribe, give this video a like, please leave a comment, tell us what you think of Kamen Rider Zero One. I very much enjoyed it. If I were to give Kamen Rider Zero One a rating, it's definitely a 5 out of 5. Despite, again, what happened with the delays in the later episodes, overall, the story is very much interesting, very action-packed. The suits are cool, you know, the action is great, everything is great, the Huma gears are amazing, and yeah, the characters, whether you love them or hate them, each of them builds to the story of the show, and definitely like you will find a character to love, whether it's Aruto, whether it's Isamu, Yua, or any of the Huma gears. Definitely you will find a character to love, or if you love all of them, that's great too. So yeah, Kamen Rider Zero One, I would highly recommend to anyone. Although I would say it's not the best that I've seen so far in terms of story. In When it comes to that, I would say it would be similar to Kamen Rider Exade when it comes to story impact, because again they have the same writer, but like the plot, I would say Build is my favorite Kamen Rider in terms of the story. But anyways, Kamen Rider Zero One's concept, its story, it's amazing on its own and really enjoyable. I gave it a 5 out of 5. So yes, again, thank you so much for watching. So again, please subscribe, give this channel or give this video a like, leave us a comment what you think of Kamen Rider Zero One, and stay tuned because next week again we will be covering Kamen Rider Saber's first episode. So I'm going to end this video right here because I also have a City Wars video to record to commemorate the final episode of Kamen Rider Zero One. So I will also be uploading that today. So anyways, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next video.